Hi, welcome to the channel. My name is Elena. I'm a librarian, and recently, two of my favorite events of the year happened to take place at the same time. That's right, the Scholastic Book Fair and the Sephora VIB sale. So this is about to be what I would consider the perfect haul. All of my favorite things being hauled in one video. I will put timestamps down below, so if you're just here for the beauty products, you can skip to that part. If you're just here for the books, look for the timestamps, okay? But personally, I'm into both. Please like this video if you have fond memories of your own Scholastic Book Fair from when you were a kid. Comment down below and let me know what you picked up at the Sephora VIB sale, and subscribe if you like book content, beauty content, lifestyles, people who decorate their libraries fairy core style, any of that. Please subscribe. Okay, let's get into the haul. Okay, starting with my book fair haul. First and foremost, I picked up a gazillion pens. If this doesn't scream Scholastic Book Fair, I don't know what does. We have a pen that looks like a Pokeball. We have a pen that looks like a Pokeball. A squishy pen that looks like an alien. A pizza pen. A fries pen. Multiple floofy pens. And whatever this is. What can I say? I'm as bad as the kids. I cannot pass up a goofy pen. Expect to see those in my reading journal updates. All right, moving on. Serious talk. Other than pens, we did actually buy books. And in case you're wondering, yes, I do get a discount on books from my own book fair. And yet I still bought so many books. Okay, the first book that I have here is White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. This is a YA psychological thriller. It's described as The Haunting of Hill House meets Get Out. It's about a girl named Mari. She and her blended family moved from California to a Midwestern city, and I believe they're moving into a haunted house. And her little stepsis is apparently seeing an imaginary friend who, wants Mari gone. So that's always good. This sounds just spooky enough for me. So I'm excited to pick this up. And I thought the cover was very compelling, right? Next we have, kind of random, Siege and Storm by Leigh Bardugo. This is the second book in the Shadow and Bone series. The first one was not at my book fair for some reason. They only were selling the second one. This is part of the Grisha-verse, which is Leigh Bardugo's YA fantasy universe. And I've never read anything from the Grisha-verse, but obviously I hear so much about it and I have been interested to pick it up. So even though they didn't have the first book at my book fair, I figured I'd go ahead and pick this up while I could get it on a discount, and maybe I'll pick up the first one down the line. I don't super know what this is about, and I don't want to look at it too closely because then I'll spoil stuff from the first book for myself. But I do know that Shadow and Bone is about a girl named Alina, who is a soldier in the kingdom of Ravka or something, who discovers that she has special magical abilities. And that's all I know. It is a Netflix series, but I hear it didn't get picked up for another season, so that's disappointing. I wish Netflix would come out with some more good fantasy series, but I'm still interested in reading these, so happy to have picked up the second one here. And next we have The Lost Dreamer by Lizz Huerta. This is the first book in a YA fantasy duology. Obviously the book fair books skew quite YA. Almost all of these are going to be YA, but I do have a couple adult fantasy books to haul for you at the end that I either didn't pick up at the book fair or they were being sold as the adult bestsellers table, that sort of thing. But I read a lot of YA. So I'm very interested in this book, The Lost Dreamer. It's inspired by Mesoamerican mythology, and our main character is named Indir, I believe. A reviewer says Indir is the youngest woman in a lineage of seers defiantly resisting the shifting patriarchal state that would see them destroyed. Great, sounds good. Sign me up. There's the chosen one trope in here, and another reviewer described it as delicate, dreamlike, and powerful. Pretty strong review. So this should be fun to get into. Next, we have, two. How am I gonna hold these and hold my mic? Life is full of trials. Okay, here we have This Poison Heart and the sequel, This Wicked Fate by Kalylnn Bayron. The covers. I love. I bought these for myself, but I have a feeling Aaron would like them. So these are contemporary fantasy with a queer main character, and it's described as being good for fans of Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. Hello, fan of Legendborn right here. This book is about a girl with a very unique magical power. She can make little tiny baby seeds grow into full blooming plants with just a touch. Apparently, it was slightly inspired by The Secret Garden, which I read last year, and enjoyed way more than I expected to. These books feature gothic atmosphere, family secrets, mythological retellings. Apparently there are lots of plot twists, plus you get a cryptic house and a poison-laced garden, which sounds so cool. And I'm glad I was able to get both so I can binge read both of them one after the other. Next, we have The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. Erin actually requested that I pick this up for her. This is the sequel to The Stolen Heir. It's like a duology, I believe, by Holly Black. I'm sure you've heard of this. It's a very, very popular YA fae romance. It's often described as a dark fairy tale situation, and it's very popular. I don't know really anything about Holly Black's stories, but apparently the love interest has hooves? I could be wrong about that. I think I saw some reviews that said he has hooves, which I'm struggling a little bit to wrap my head around. But yeah, I think maybe you're supposed to read the Cruel Prince trilogy first. If you have read Holly Black, let me know in the comments. Am I supposed to read the Cruel Prince trilogy first before this one? Let me know. Anyway, it says a runaway queen, a reluctant prince, and a quest that may destroy them both. Dun dun dun. Okay, next we have, oh my gosh. I can't pick. I'm just gonna have to show you these one at a time, okay? We got Heartstopper 1, Heartstopper 2, and Heartstopper 4. Because Heartstopper number 3 sold out at the book fair. I don't know, I guess a lot of my students were on the third book or something because they bought them all. If I end up loving these, I'm sure I can grab the third one somewhere online. So Heartstopper is by Alice Oseman, first of all. And these are queer contemporary romance graphic novels. Graphic novels are not always my cup of tea, but I've heard like rave reviews on these books from my students, but also on Book Talk and BookTube. Everyone seems to love these books. So I want to find out for myself what all the hullabaloo is about. These books are about Charlie, who is a high-strung, openly gay overthinker, and Nick, a cheerful, soft-hearted rugby player, who meet at a British all-boys grammar school. How romantic. So yeah, I'm pumped to get into those. Next, we have one that I'm so excited about. Children of Virtue and Vengeance by Tomi Adeymei. I just read Children of Blood and Bone, which is the first in this series, the Legends of Orisha series. And the third one comes out, I think, in June. So I need to get to the second one before then. I absolutely love Children of Blood and Bone. It was technically a reread for me, but I just love this series so, so much. And I picked up this copy for $10 at the book fair. What a steal, right? Like, okay, Scholastic, thank you. This is like a nice hardback book. Like, if you want to hear more about the plot of Children of Blood and Bone, I feel like I've spoken about it so many times at this point. I don't want to be redundant, but you can check out our March Roundup video where I go more into depth about it. I will say about this book, and it's going to be a quick spoiler, so if you have not read Children of Blood and Bone, skip ahead like 30 seconds. I'll wait. Here's the quick spoiler. In this book, Zaylee and Amari have successfully unleashed magic back upon the world, but they thought only the Magi would be getting magic. No. Turns out the nobles with Magi ancestry are manifesting magical abilities as well. So the war is far from over. I'm a little nervous about what's going to happen in this one, and the fact that I do have to wait till June either way to read the third. Should I save this? Oh, but I want to know. I want to read it now. I'll mull that over. But regardless, awesome find at the book fair. All right, now we have a wild card. This is The Statistical Probability of Love at First Sight by Jennifer E. Smith. I gotta switch hands. So this is a YA rom-com that came out in 2012. Yeah, in 2012. And it got turned into a Netflix movie last year. The movie has pretty good reviews. especially for a rom-com. So it's about Hadley and Oliver, who fall in love at first sight on a flight from New York to London. But then they lose each other at customs, like in all of the airport chaos. And the big question is, will fate bring them back together? You know, is love at first sight lasting, true, real love or not? This sounds like maybe not my usual thing, but I'm learning that maybe I don't have a usual thing. It's nice to mix things up every once in a while, and in the past year or so, I've realized that I do enjoy a rom-com from time to time, and I thought this would be nice over the summer, like on vacation, at the beach kind of thing, a pool read, you know what I mean? So I was excited to pick this up. It has like 125,000 Goodreads reviews, so some people like it, and maybe I will be one of them. All right, next. You know what this is. We have The Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. Fun fact about me, I actually hate the original Hunger Games trilogy. I don't like them at all. This is one of the rare cases where I think the movies are actually better than the books. And yet, it's been a long time since I read those. There's obviously a lot of talk about this book. And again, I like to know what all the hullabaloo is about, you know? And I do think, Hunger Games is kind of a pop culture icon at this point, so I don't know. I feel like I should read the last one. This is the origin story of Snow. I hear that this book is weirder than the OG Hunger Games books. Maybe a little goofy even, some reviewers said, which that doesn't make me super excited to read it, but I don't know. I just feel like I should. If you read this, let me know what you thought about it. Although I feel like everybody loves the Hunger Games and I'm just the wet blanket out here that didn't like them at all. On to the next. Again, you know what this is, okay? Midnight Sun by Stephenie Meyer. This is Twilight from Edward's perspective, and it's a chonker. Whew! 815 pages of Edward's 104-year-old crushing on a 17-year-old POV. Whoo! Okay, y'all know I love vampires, and I was an OG Twilight fan for sure. Now, I think we all know Twilight is not winning any female empowerment awards anytime soon, and I've heard that this book is kind of icky, mainly for that reason. But that's kind of what makes Twilight great for me. Like, part of the fun is making fun of Twilight, you know? I don't feel this way about the Hunger Games. I feel that the Hunger Games is just bad. But something about Twilight is nostalgic, and I don't know, I can't explain it, all right? And why was this at my book fair? Yeah, that's all I need to say, but I'm kind of pumped about this. One more thing from the book fair, and then a couple things that are not from the book fair. Here's the one more thing from the book fair. It's a journal. It's called My Book Club Journal, and it's a cute little journal where you can track your reading. It has these adorable little reading log spreads where you can write in the book, the author, the genre, what format it was. I love that it includes where and when you read it, because that can affect your enjoyment of a book so much, don't you think? And you have your first thoughts, and then a place for your final impressions, and then you rate the characters, plot, writing, and overall, and finish up by answering, would you recommend it, yes or no, and why? And then there's a whole page for notes. I think this is freaking genius. Like, what a good idea. And there are extra pages for more notes if you want to write more. I obviously already have a more traditional style reading journal, like a bullet journal type, scrapbooky type one that I do. You guys probably know that. And I definitely don't need another way to track my reading. I also use Goodreads and Storygraph religiously. But this is cute. I thought maybe Aaron might like to use it, or maybe I'll use it next year. I mean, I don't know. I just think this is cute and I wanted to have it. Then we have a couple random books that I picked up recently and I didn't fully haul them to you, and I sort of feel like I haven't told you enough about them, so I thought I'd just loop them into this video. Just a couple things here quickly. So first we have Gideon the Ninth by Tamsyn Muir. I've heard a lot of buzz about this book. It is adult sci-fi and fantasy. This is not for my book fair. I already said that, right? I got this at Barnes & Noble, just so we're clear. This is an adult sci-fi fantasy book about lesbian necromancers in space. That tagline was everywhere when this came out, and it got me. It has a 4.21 on Goodreads. Pretty dang good. Also, I love the name Gideon for a swordswoman, you know? For a woman in general, but for a swordswoman, I mean, look at her! Gideon! So this story is described as having lots of political intrigue. People say it's somewhat dense, which is a plus for me, but I know not everybody's into that. It has a murder mystery storyline to it, and overall it's kind of dark. I think I'm going to absolutely love this book. Like, this is definitely an anticipated 5-star read for me. So I might vlog this at some point. Let me know if you'd be interested in that. Okay, I also have picked up The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang. Oh my word, this is probably one of my top 3 books of 2023. I read this last year and I love this book. I love this book. I needed to own my own copy. I needed to have a physical one of these to look at on my shelf. I'd like to say to lend out, but I don't know if I'll be lending this out because I love it so, so much. I'm gonna reread it at some point. It's amazing. So the tagline says, a mother struggling to repress her violent past, a son struggling to grasp his violent future, a father blind to the danger that threatens them all. Gives me chills just thinking about it. This book took me through the full range of human emotion. It has a very unique and heart-wrenching depiction of motherhood, unlike any I've ever read about. And it's just a 10 out of 10 book. Like, this book is so good, okay? It's so, so good. So, really happy to have my own copy of that. Also, I picked this up recently in a vlog, but I didn't say what it was about. Bad booktuber, okay? It is Godkiller by Hannah Kaner. I thought this was like a huge book from the reviews I was seeing about it, but it's actually just like a normal size. Nothing crazy. It's probably like 300 pages. Anyway, this is adult high fantasy. A reviewer called it fascinating and engaging dark fantasy adventure reminiscent of the Witcher series. I love the Witcher series, so that had my ears perked up. And our main character, I guess, is Kristen. Her family were killed by religious zealots of a fire god long ago, and now Kristen is basically a mercenary who kills gods for money, I think. But then one day she meets a god who she can't kill. Plot ensues, so hoping to read that soon. And then last book, I found these at Goodwill. It's a little box set of Philip Pullman's His Dark Materials series. Erin kept mentioning this series to me recently, and it was making me want to reread it. She was saying she wanted to reread it, and then it was making me want to reread it, you know? So I saw this recently at Goodwill. It was $6 for the set of 3. Yes, they're paperbacks. Yes, the spines are already cracked, but that doesn't bother me. I'm a big fan of paperbacks, and it's nice to have a copy that you can carry around and not really worry about keeping it in pristine condition, you know? So anyway, if you aren't familiar with His Dark Materials, this is an epic fantasy trilogy published in the late 90s. It's a coming-of-age story about 2 children, Lyra and Will, who are essentially wandering through parallel universes. This is a multi-universe situation, okay? And then there are demons and armored polar bears and witches and all kinds of crazy stuff. It's very existential from what I remember. In fact, I remember it kind of traumatizing me as a kid. That makes me want to reread it and see if I was justly traumatized or if now it would be blasé to me. You know what I mean? This series has been heavily banned and challenged in schools and libraries across the country because it is rightfully so labeled anti-religious at times. That only makes me want to read it more. So I'm pumped to have found this at Goodwill. Okay, that is everything that I picked up from the Scholastic Book Fair. I love to do a crazy over-the-top book fair with the entire library decorated and every kid gets something for free and the kids are so excited and there's books galore. I mean, it's just the best. It's such a fun time of year. Now, segueing into the Sephora VIB sale, which if I had any forethought, I might have planned my book fair for a different week. That's very dramatic, I know. You can't be planning your life around the Sephora VIB sale, Elena. Anyone who knows me knows that books and makeup are basically tied as my favorite hobbies. So I thought I would go ahead and do my Sephora VIB sale haul looped in with this video. It's gonna be fun, okay? I picked up so many fun things at the sale, and I've had these for at least a week, most of them. So I can give you a little bit of my initial thoughts on each product and let you know what I think about it, and if I could go back in time, would I have purchased it or not? I'm going to start with the makeup. I have some fragrance and some skincare and a little hair care to haul, but my favorite category is makeup, so let's start with the makeup. First off, I picked up the Glossier Stretch Concealer. I might be the last person to try this, but I finally did. I wanted something that I could wear day to day as a concealer, but all over my face, and I've heard this is really good for that. And I've tried it out a couple times, and you know what? I really like it. The texture is very, very creamy and emollient. This is definitely not full coverage, but I mean, I was able to build it up and layer it to get to medium coverage, and this would be great, I think, as a lightweight product. If you're somebody that wants something really easy, this would be just simple, like just put it under the eyes or wherever you most need coverage, and you're good to go. You really don't have to set it with powder. I think it looks very nice on its own. I have the shade G11, which matches me. It's maybe a little light for me right now. And as we get into the summer, I definitely would need a deeper shade, but I'd rather have a shade that's too light than too dark, you know? Because I can always use bronzer and blush to warm things up. So I'm cool with this shade. I'm gonna keep it. Yeah, I'm really liking it so far. Okay, next let's just go ahead and jump into the blushes, because I have a couple. First and foremost, the one I'm most excited about is this Patrick Ta, what are these called? Patrick Ta Double Take Cream and Powder Blush. And I picked up the shade She's Blushing. I don't love this like mirrored packaging because, as you can see, it shows all of your fingerprints, which is not my fave, but I like how it opens. You like push the bottom here, see that? Haha. And voila. And then on the inside, I like the packaging as well because the cream has a little guard over it that you can flip up, which I think is really smart because then you're not contaminating your cream blush with the powder below it. And I'll let you see the shade close up. I'm in neutral lighting right now, so you should be getting a pretty solid representation of what it really looks like. This is not one of the new shades that just came out. I have been looking at those new shades, and I heard everyone talking about the shade Not Too Much. And it looks so nice and pretty and nude and like neutrally. But then I kept hearing how everyone loved it because it's barely there, it's super natural. And one thing about me, I'm a blushaholic, okay? I don't want subtle, I don't want natural. I want a lot of blush, which I could even stand to be wearing more blush right now, okay? So I decided to opt for a shade that had a little bit more pigment. And I think this shade is so flattering on my skin tone. I think it's just gorgeous. And I've been applying it the way that Patrick Ta recommends, which is you set your face with powder first, and then you apply the powder blush, and then at the end, you apply the cream blush on top. And it sounds like it wouldn't work, but it does work, and it makes your skin look so good. It makes you look like you've had 3 Stanleys full of water that day. Like, you are so hydrated. Your skin just looks smooth and glowy. I am now obsessed with this blush formula, and I really, really want to pick up more shades. And the sale is about to end. Am I really gonna wait all the way until the fall sale to pick up more shades? I don't know, but I absolutely fully endorse that blush. It is gorgeous. I also picked up a new brush to apply it with. This is the Sephora brush, number 99, and Sephora collection products are 30% off during the sale, so I got a pretty good deal on this. And I will say, even though the sale is ending, Sephora collection products do go on sale periodically throughout the year. So I would not pay full price for this were I you. I would wait for a sale price. However, I really like this brush. Let me show you. Here it is. Now it does have blush on it right now because I just used it to apply that Patrick Ta blush. So don't mind that, but I really like the shape of it. You can see it's domed and a little bit flat. So what's nice is I've been using one side of it for the powder and then flipping it over and using the other side for the cream in the Patrick Todd duo. And it works really well for both. And then I'm just using like a patting motion on my cheek to get a really good blend. And I seriously think this brush is amazing. Okay, let's talk about the Rare Beauty blushes. These are the brand new Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Powder Blushes. Everybody is talking about these right now. As soon as I saw that they were coming out, I was like, yes, sign me up. I need those immediately. I agonized over which shades to buy, and I bought them literally the day before they dropped because you know how Sephora Rouge, sometimes you can get things a day early. I love this packaging. Everyone says that this packaging is very, very fragile and that they are liable to break even from just normal use. Like, I'm not talking traveling with them and they break on the plane or in the car ride. I'm talking jostling them around your vanity. Apparently these break easily. So a little stressed about that. I picked up the shades Love and Hope. I have the shade Love in the liquid soft pinch blush, and it's one of my all-time favorite blushes. It's such a gorgeous terracotta color with like just enough orange to it and red. I just think it's such a pretty color. And so I wanted to pick up the powder blush version of this. Let me show you what this looks like. Wow. I mean, pretty glorious. This one has a good amount of pigment to it, a decent amount of color, and a lot of reflect. These are shimmery. They are basically pigmented highlighters, not so much blushes. Like, they are straight up highlighters. I think that they both work best as a blush topper, and they can be a little bit finicky. Like, it's a highlight, you know? You're gonna put it on your cheeks and it's gonna reflect and bring light to that area. So if you have a lot of skin texture or unevenness and you are like obsessed with a very blurred out airbrush finish, I don't think this will be for you. But I really, really like this. I have slightly dry skin. Obviously, I have texture to my skin, but I don't really mind that this shows that off. I think it's so pretty, and I just love sparkly things. And I love my cheeks to be really glowy and shimmery. So I am really liking these. Definitely they work best as a topper, especially the other shade, which is Hope. You can see Hope is just not quite as dark, and it swatches and applies just a little bit more sheer. It's not as pigmented. This one definitely works best over a matte blush with more color to it, in my opinion, because by the time that I build this up to have as much color as I would want to have in a blush, it's like too much. It's like a little bit Tin Man situation with the highlight over here. So this one definitely is only gonna be a blush topper for me, but I still really like it. And that reminds me that I did also pick up the actual highlight, the Positive Light Silky Touch Highlighter from Rare Beauty in the shade Enlighten. This is like the white one. Again, same packaging that supposedly makes these very, very fragile. That's such a shame too, because I would love to travel with this, and it feels like that would be tempting fate. So I wish they would do something about that. But I mean, none of mine have broken yet. So because I love this, it is so shimmery and like delicious. This is an icy white highlight. It looks really nice on my cheeks for a dramatic highlight. You know, remember, I know you remember 2016 where we were all highlighting and we wanted our highlight to be seen in space. This would be good for that, okay? But with a light hand, it can look really nice and seamless as well. I think this is a fantastic highlighter formula, probably my favorite highlighter formula that I've ever tried. And it's also on my eyes right now. It looks great in the inner corner as an inner corner highlight. I really like this. I might pick up another shade of that as well. All right, let me back up a little bit because I also have a powder to show you. This is the Givenchy Prism Libre Matte Finish and Enhancing Radiance Loose Powder 4-in-1 Harmony. This is Givenchy powder, okay? It comes in minis, which is nice because the full size are expensive, and I'm very picky with powder, and I test a lot of powder. So I wanted to give this a go in the mini form before I commit to a full size. I have heard rave reviews about this powder. I got the shade 2, Satin Blanc. It says for fair to light complexion. And I've tried this a couple times, and I do like it. Let me show you the package. Ooh, Givenchy. And it comes with this tiny puff inside, which mine is already dirty because I used it today. I normally don't use the puffs that come with these, but I don't know. Something just came over me and I wanted to use it. It's like a cute little mini poof. It's adorable. The actual powder is 4 colors that sort of mix together and then is used on the face, which kind of gimmicky in my opinion. But I do think that this powder is really nice. It's very mattifying, which makes it very blurring. Looks very airbrushed on the skin. I don't know that it's super worth the full price to me. I don't know. I'll have to test it a few more times before I decide because honestly, I really like the e.l.f. Halo Glow powder, and that is obviously way, way cheaper. And I can't say for sure that this beats it out. I'll have to do a side-by-side comparison one day, but I do think it's nice. It's very mattifying and blurring. It's kind of hard to not get more of one color than the other when I tap it out, you know? Normally I sort of tip the component over to knock some into the lid before I apply it on my face, and I find that it's hard to get an even distribution of all the 4 colors. But I don't know if that really even matters. They're all pretty translucent, so at the end of the day, it does look good. So that's pretty cool. All right, next we have the One Size Point Made Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner Pen in the shade Bodacious Black. It's a black liquid eyeliner. I am a liquid eyeliner girly, as you can probably tell, and I have been on what feels like a lifelong hunt for the perfect liquid eyeliner. My previous favorite was the KVD Tattoo Liner, which I do like, but it dries out quickly, and that is a problem for me when they're like $26 a pop, you know? So I've been searching for something to replace those, and someone recommended this to me on TikTok. So I picked it up in the sale, and I've tried it a couple times now. Here's the good. I really like how black this eyeliner is. It's very, very, very black. And it's very, very, very matte. And I do like a matte eyeliner. I don't like my eyeliner to be shiny because a lot of the time I wear a wing eyeliner with an all matte eyeshadow look. And then I feel like if the eyeliner is shiny, it just doesn't go, you know? It's one of those little things that nobody else would notice, but I notice and it bothers me. I'd prefer it to be totally matte. And this is matte. It's also very long wearing, which I appreciate. And it is a felt tip, which kind of is not a pro or a con for me. I usually prefer a brush tip in general. But even though this is a felt tip, like a marker style eyeliner pen, it still can give me a very crisp line, which is nice. Now, I do think, like, I don't know, like, am I crazy or is it dried out? Like, tell me in the application footage. Do you see when I'm actually drawing the point, how I'm touching it to my skin, but it's skipping over and not wet anymore? It's like there's not product at the felt tip, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Which makes it kind of hard to get a really crisp, even wing. I mean, I got there in the end. I think these wings look pretty good, like pretty even and nice, but it's just not perfect. Is there no such thing as a perfect liquid eyeliner? I don't know. If you have one that you think I would like, I ask this all the time, but whatever. I'll just try every freaking eyeliner out there until I find the one that actually is the perfect liquid eyeliner. So drop your recs in the comments. Next up, we have the Hourglass Unlocked Instant Extensions Mascara. This is a tubing formula, and I picked it up kind of, you know, it was a bit of a risky buy. It was a blind buy, and it's Hourglass, so it is kind of pricey. But I really, really like it. Like, this was a major win for me. I have pretty short eyelashes, and this does a really good job on them. I feel like it's volumizing, lengthening, separating, all the things. I do tend to get it on my eyelids a little bit, but that's true for me with every single mascara out there. I'm just a messy mascara applier, and I also apply like 7 coats every time I do my mascara. So I think the messiness is just inevitable. I just wait for it to dry and then flick it off my eyelid if I remember. You know, previously I'd been using the Clio Kill Lash mascara, which I also really like, but that mascara is very hard to remove. And this, because it's a tubing formula, comes right off at the end of the day, no problems. I've worn this every day for a week straight, and so far, no smudging. And lately, I've been getting a lot of smudging with my mascaras, especially like up here from me doing this all the time. So I really like this so far. But that was a risky buy. I wasn't totally sure if I would love it. So just to be safe, I also picked up the Sephora Favorites Lash Stash To Go kit. This has 5 mini mascaras in it, and then you try them all out, choose your favorite, and then there's a coupon in here where you can redeem it for a full-size mascara. It's a pretty good deal. These Sephora Favorite kits are usually a pretty good deal. This one retailed for $28, and some of these mascaras cost that much alone. So you get all 5 of these travel sizes plus the full size. I mean, pretty solid. And I already know from experience that I really like the Tartelette Tubing Mascara. I also really like the Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. It also includes the Rare Beauty Mascara, they only have the one, the Too Faced Better Than Sex Mascara, which I know I kind of am not into. The wand on that is just like not for me. But there's also the Milk Makeup Mascara, which I remember thinking was pretty good. So worst case scenario, I could get the Tarte or the Benefit one and be very happy with those. And these are just a nice way to try out different mascaras and get a feel for what you might like. Okay, last makeup product. I'm so excited about this one. This is the Merit Signature Lip Lightweight Matte Lipstick in the shade Equestrian. The Merit Signature lipsticks are my all-time favorite lipsticks, and I am going through a lipstick phase. I just love it. The act of applying lipstick, then how it looks, and just like a dramatic lip with my new short hair. I'm just into lipsticks right now. In fact, also the packaging. I mean, the original Signature lipsticks are kind of a copper color. This is darker. It's like more of an onyx color. Just stunning packaging. I think that this formula is really, really nice. It's not as hydrating as the original formula. That one is like creamy, like very hydrating on the lips. But this is definitely not drying by any means. It feels very comfortable and cushiony on the lips, and it's very pigmented and kind of thin. So when you apply it, it just spreads very quickly, and then I just give it a little, a little smudge around the edges, soften those lip lines, and voila. I think it's so pretty. And the shade, I really like the shade. It's a slightly red brown. It's a bricky brown. It's mostly brown. 10 out of 10. I love those lipsticks. I want more. It's nice to just start with one, always good to just see if you like the formula before you blow a bunch of money, right? So that is it for the makeup. Now I have a couple fragrance and skincare. Let's do the skincare. So here we have the Paula's Choice Exfoliating Skin Perfecting 2% BHA Liquid Exfoliant with salicylic acid. I hear things about this all the time. I think it's a very classic skincare item, and I've been wanting something that is going to be a nice chemical exfoliant. I've been using adapalene, but my skin is dry and it just is not really adjusting to the adapalene. So I don't know, maybe retinol is just not for me. I mean, I've tried for months on end. Maybe this will work better for me, and I can use this just as an exfoliant to slough away everything that needs to not be on my skin anymore. All right, in the hair care department, I picked up the Inkyless Salicylic Acid Exfoliating Scalp Treatment. I've never tried a scalp treatment. I just wanted to try it. I do think my hair can get a little bit oily at the top. Like, I just washed it yesterday with a detox shampoo, with the Way Detox shampoo, so a good one. And I do feel like it's already looking a little oily. My hair is naturally shiny, so even when it's not necessarily dirty, it just looks like that, But I thought this might help. Maybe? I'm gonna give it a go. I'll report back. And I am typically a Sephora VIB points hoarder, but this time I decided to splurge and use my points on this Bumble and Bumble Hair Heroes kit. It includes the Dry Spun Texture Spray, the Thermal Protection Mist, the Hairdresser's Invisible Oil, and the BB Thickening Plumping Mask. I really like Bumble and Bumble products. I like their dry shampoo a lot. I think I've tried their texture spray in the past and liked it. But I thought this would be nice to have to travel this summer, to take with me on trips. And I know they all smell good, which is crucial for me when it comes to hair care. Speaking of smelling good, I also went a little crazy with the fragrances. I mean, not crazy, okay? Just like a little crazy. I am in a fragrance phase, a lipstick and a fragrance phase, okay? So the one I am so excited about that I picked up, this is from Fleur. It is their Tangerine Boy. Look at this color, like, oh my God. Wish you could see it from where I'm sitting. It's like glowing from the light. And this smells out of this world. It makes my mouth water. It smells like when you peel a clementine and that first like hit of orange smell, but also imagine you're in like a witchy cottage, not like a scary witch, like a nature witch. Okay, like there's something like herbally and sort of magical and patchouli. Like there's a little bit of musk going on here too. I don't know. All I'm saying is it smells amazing, and this is for sure going to be my signature scent going into spring and summer. I plan to wear this on. And then last but certainly not least, dun dun dun, the Sephora Favorites Deluxe Perfume Sampler Set. So this is similar to the mascara thing. You get 7 mini perfumes and a coupon to redeem for the full size of any one of these perfumes. Now this is a freaking amazing deal. The kit itself costs $90, and that is before the discount. So it was also 20% off, $72. And looking at me right here in the middle of the set is Burberry Goddess, which the full size of Burberry Goddess retails for $170 freaking dollars. Okay, I got all of these for $72, and then I could redeem it for a full size of Burberry Goddess for free. But more importantly, it also has Fleur Missing Person, which is one of my all-time favorite layering scents. I wear it a lot. It also has the Juliet Has a Gun, Not a Perfume, which I know is one of Erin's signature scents. And I'm very excited to try Gucci Bloom. And I am excited to try the Carolina Herrera Good Girl blush, the one that looks like a high heel. See that? Everyone says this packaging is so cute, but I think it's tacky as hell. Is that just me? It's not for me. But I've heard it smells amazing, so I'm excited to try all of these. I haven't had a chance to. I've just been wearing Tangerine Boy every single day, so I haven't really tried these yet, but I'm excited to. And again, I already knew that I love Missing Person and Burberry Goddess, so I knew that this would be a good value for me regardless. I highly recommend picking that up. Even after the sale ends, it's still a really good deal, especially if you can go to the store and smell these perfumes and see if there's one that you know you like. So, okay, I have been talking for over an hour, so let's bring it on home. I'm filled with so much enthusiasm after hauling all of those books and beauty products. It's like my favorite things all brought together in one video. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like the video, comment below. Please subscribe. That would be great. If you liked the book portion of this video and you want more kind of quick run-throughs and mini reviews of books, check out our March Roundup video that just recently went up. Erin and I discussed the 17 books that we read between us in March and give mini reviews of each one. So that'll give you a lot of recommendations if you want more of those. And until our next video, see you soon.